What's up, my fishy friends? Just got a package here. We're gonna be making some new things. I don't know how any of this is gonna come out, but I am actually very interested because I actually have a lot of red colors, and red does really well in the winter and early spring. And since we're kind of in the off season, there's still fish around, but it's kind of like that time to jump into some fresh water. I got a bunch of red things that I want to try out, make some more jigs, maybe some spinner baits down the line, and I got some skirts in here for some other stuff too. So let's try it. So I poured a bunch of these little jig heads already. I'm gonna put a collar on here. We have the rubber collars, and we have a bunch of this brand new skirt material that I wanna try out. And then I'm using a bunch of new paint that I haven't used before. Usually I use just like the solid colors, but these actually have black flake in them already instead of having to put any in. So let's see how this actually comes out. Stardust, green pumpkin. This is the fullest I've ever seen a container of paint. There's definitely too much paint on that, but that's pretty cool. Let's get that two-tone to it. I'll do a close-up too. I have an empty white here. I'm gonna dump some of this inside. So the next one I bought was this fire craw color. It doesn't really look any different than like a hot red or a bright orange. Again, it's loaded to the top. Most of these powder paints that I get from the same brand, they're not loaded that much. That's pretty cool. So I'm sure it's gonna cure a different color, but that's pretty neat. It's got a bunch of red and black sparkle or flake glitter inside of there. That's pretty neat. Let's make another one. So that one cured a lot easier than the others, the other green ones that I just did. And I don't know if Stardust, is it by ProTech? It's Lorecraft, so it is a different paint, but this ProCraft, you don't need to put too much heat on these jig heads to get them to cure. That Lorecraft Stardust green pumpkin one, that one needed a lot of heat. Yeah, this one's cool. I like this. I'll do a close-up on all of them again, but maybe we'll do one more. Next is Disco Blue. This is like a black and blue color. It's got some nice blue glitter in there too. But I throw a lot of like this green pumpkin or black and blue jigs, so I wanted to really try out these new paints. Let's see what Disco Blue does. That's actually pretty neat. It's more of like a blue with some blue sparkle, some glitter in there. Not really a black and blue. Maybe I was looking at the wrong thing when I ordered it, but I'll do another one. It's pretty neat. The last color is a PB&J, they call it. It was like a brown color, a browner pumpkin, I guess, with some red and purple and black flake. Way too much on there. Gonna have to do another one. That one cured real quick. That gooped up. All of these paints are like fully loaded. Usually there's some space for me to just fluff up the paint. There we go. Nice purple and black flake inside of there on a brown. It's pretty neat. Once these paints cool down, they get to their natural color, and that is so much brighter than what I showed you when I first took it off of that paint. Look at this. That's nice. That's exactly the color I was going for, and exactly the color I want. So we're gonna make some jigs with these. And if you're making your own jigs, really easy. Before you put them in the toaster oven to actually cure the paint fully, make sure you pop those eyes out, because it just becomes a lot more difficult to pop those eyes once you fully cure them. And obviously, if you're selling these jigs, don't use the hook end of another jig. They make split ring pliers, or yeah, I guess they're still called split ring pliers. You can get at Michael's for jewelry, and they're like, I don't know, $4 or $5. That's what I normally use, but I have no idea where I placed it in the movement of bringing it to the shop here. There I gotta say, this is the disco blue color one, and it has a gritty feel to it. It's not like that gloss finish like all the other ones. This disco blue, there's a lot of glitter inside of there, so maybe that's why it's got that gritty feel. So maybe I can throw some of that diamond finish on there. It'll put that smooth coat on it. And just for today's video's purposes, I'm not gonna throw them in the toaster oven. I'm not selling these, so they don't have to be perfect. They're gonna work for what I want them to do, and if they don't, I'll make them again. So I actually found my pliers. Just gonna make it a little bit easier. These Lorecraft paints they feel a little bit more rubbery than these ProTech ones. So a little bit difficult to get that hook inside that eyelet. So really you just take these split rings, throw them inside of that eye of the hook, and just spin them around. You'll be able to get all that paint out. Yeah, this Lorecraft one's weird. I like the way that the ProTech paints mix together, but this one is very strange. Like a rubbery feel. I don't really like how it cured. So maybe we'll find like a green pumpkin in the ProTech as opposed to this Lorecraft Stardust stuff. I am soaked and slightly cold. My camera battery died, so I had to run back into the truck and grab some stuff. All right, I'm super interested as to how these Fire Tigers are gonna look with these new skirts, but I did also get some new skirts for my green pumpkins and my black and blues, and I've never used these skirts before, but they look really, really good. They are exactly what I'm looking for. I don't think I've ever seen these on their website, so when I saw it, I was like, all right, well, let's try it out. I like these fine mini skirts. These are those fine skirts, so they flow a lot easier than those thicker, I guess, thicker skirt materials. They're not cut as thin as these, and I really like these. And finally found a bunch of them, so we're gonna. These are pre-rigged already too, so they have that that rubber collar on them. Most of the time, I'm doing it by myself and rigging them. And we'll go over one collar, and then over the next, and then we're just gonna evenly disperse the skirt. So there's a bunch of ways that you can tie jigs. You can put these rubber collars on the skirts, or you can actually tie them the way that, you know, we tie bucktails. You know, I tie those bucktails with thread. You can do it that way. You can tie it with wire. Obviously, having them pre-rigged already or putting a collar on them might be a little bit easier, but there we go. We got a mini skirt or a fine cut skirt on a 1/2 ounce ball head jig. No weed guard on there either. So I'm gonna open up the black and blues. Gotta replace my knife. So this one has a bunch of shine to it, kind of like a pearl color. These are fine cut mini skirts, black and blue, so there's no pearl name to it, but it's got that nice shimmering pearl to it. I don't typically like the pearls or the shine or shim, but we'll see. It might match these disco blues a lot better, so let's pull it up a little bit. So if you're ever making jigs and you get collared jig skirts, just know you got to move down that rubber a little bit, because chances are it's all melted together. And you got to spread all of these little skirts, that way they don't get stuck together. And whichever way has the most of the skirt, so whichever side has more skirt to it, which is going to be this side, that's the side we're gonna put the hook through, because then while we're pushing it up the jig, this rubber collar is gonna ride up the skirt. And if you do it on the shorter side, it won't be even by the time you're done. A lot of times I'll be cutting it just about there where the hook bend is. Blue disco head with the black and blue skirt with the fine cut. Love that fine cut. You'll notice when you're making jigs, you do that thicker skirt material and then you do a fine cut. When you throw it underwater, you'll be like, wow, that really does make a big difference. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, the Fire Tiger. Now with this one, I have a bunch of different skirts because red works really, really well for me in the winter time and the springtime. So I wanted to pick something that was gonna work really well. And you can't really tell too much from the pictures online. So I grabbed a couple different colors and I'm gonna try to see which one works the best. I think, oof. All right, I only have one that's pre-rigged, so let's do that one first. So this is that mini skirt right here, that fine cut skirt, compared to a regular skirt. You can see how, I guess, hopefully you can see it in the video, how much thicker that skirt material is compared to this one. So let's try this one. Kind of like that. That looks nice. So I don't have my tool to actually make these skirts without collars already. All right, here we go. We're gonna use a thing of wire. I'm gonna bend it a little bit. Basically just made a little hook and a pen. All we got is a little pen here. So all I'm doing is taking these rubber collars here, putting it over the pen, just pushing it over. Take off the pen part, run the hook in. Do 2 skirts. Put it down the middle of the skirts. Put them down like that. So now we got our hook, right? Put it through the pen. Roughly halfway. Push over the rubber collar. Pull it back out. Right, take it off. Throw it on our jig. Just gonna cut off these tabs here. Same thing on the bottom. Work the skirt. And we're gonna cut off just below the hook bend. There we go. Nice little fire craw jig head. Nice. Let's try throwing one of these little guys on there. Just a little craw. Very soft craw. Let's see, is that what we want to do? Nah, I'm gonna cut off a little bit. This craw is hollow. So this is typically how I throw all of my finesse or ball head jigs, is I'll do the green pumpkins and I'll do a little craw color or a craw presentation too. So a lot of times you'll see my black and blues will have green pumpkins, or my green pumpkins will have black and blues. I do like putting those different colors and those contrasts together, but when you get a good craw like that, a good black and or a good green pumpkin jig head, nice mini skirt or fine cut skirt for the green pumpkin skirt, and then you put on a green pumpkin craw, like that looks really, really nice. And this craw is hollow too. Wonder if it's gonna help. Like I throw a lot of like 1/8 ounce and 1/4 ounce. This is a 1/2 ounce jig, so I wonder if it's gonna help that 1/8 ounce fall a little bit slower, or that 1/4 ounce stand up a little bit when it's on the bottom. But that's pretty neat. Just for the heck of it, let's throw a craw on every single one. So this is a 3.5 inch craw. I don't need that, so I'm just gonna cut it right there at the tail. Let's throw it on one of the disco blues. Definitely makes rigging it a lot easier when it's hollow. Hook just goes right through. There you go. There's that black and blue with the green pumpkin. Nice. So like I said before, that is exactly what I wanted to do with this project. I wanted a very nice fire craw jig. I haven't done these colors, so I was really looking forward to that fire craw, and that one, that looks really nice. I like that. So here are the two that I'm really excited about, those green pumpkins and that fire craw. So here's a little bit better lighting with that green pumpkin and that fire craw with those green pumpkin craws. They're pretty nice. I like that fine mini skirt, and then you can kind of see it a little bit better in this lighting with that thicker skirt material where it kind of just ploofs out a little bit, where that mini skirt kind of falls down. and it's gonna have way better action than this. Like this is gonna have a more of a stiffer action, where this is gonna have more play to it. But here are my 3 colors that I fish with a lot in the winter and early spring. The green pumpkin, that black and blue, and those fire craw colors. You gotta find something to do during the winter. Like, it's fun to just think about fishing or watch fishing, but then you start like, all right, let me spend $50 on a mold, and then let me get some hooks that I really trust, and like make a jig that I want and customize it exactly how I want, certain jig heads for certain skirts. Like, you just can't find everything in the store. So being able to have something to do, like you can buy jig heads online if you don't want to buy the mold, you don't want to pour lead, you don't want to do that kind of stuff. You can buy raw, unpainted, unfinished jig heads, and you can always email the guys, be like, hey, what hook do you have? And if it's not a hook that you trust, you just don't use it. But you can always just paint it whatever you want. These paint cans, I think, are $10 to use as a torch or a heat gun. You can put them in an old toaster oven to cure them. You can get whatever color skirts you want, get whatever paint. It's really fun to do over the winter, and by the time you know it, you're like, all right, well, what am I gonna do with 200 jigs? Now you never have to go out and buy a jig again, which are getting ridiculously expensive. Like $10 for a jig? Come on, buddy. So yeah, I highly encourage you guys to go do something during the winter that's fishing related, that's gonna improve your game. Obviously, we're gonna teach you guys a lot on this channel, but you know, we have a lot of learning things coming for you, a lot of learning lessons where we're going to teach you how to fish and how to actually fish the moment, you know, like what's going on this week or this month or what to expect for the following month. But definitely get involved in doing something like making jigs. Some guys make rods, like my brother makes rods now. I'm making jigs, I tie bucktails, I do stuff, I tie leaders, I get everything done over the winter. It keeps me fishing motivated, you know, because it's gonna be a long winter, but I'm also still out fishing. So we're gonna have a lot of fishing videos for you as well. Let me know how you, what you think of this disco blue. I don't know if you can see that glitter on it, but nah, it's different. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, maybe bucktail, fluke stuff, let me know in the comment section below. Or if you want to see me do some more freshwater jigs or making lures, wooden lures. I got the whole wood shop that my dad works out of. I'll leave his YouTube down in the description too. Wow, that was a mouthful. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Stay real, smooch and release, and have some fun on the water. I'll see you next time.